would we have these mega monopolies like Google, Amazon, Facebook, Netflix, whatever, if we didn't have this fiat world, right? If people weren't forced to save in equities, if these companies couldn't use leverage to build distribution centers all over the world, like I kind of think about it like we wouldn't have these mega monopolies on a true Bitcoin standard.
So here's what people don't get about monopolies. They cannot happen without political interventionism. So regulations and artificially low interest rates for the rich, all of those things, that's why monopolies form. On a truly free market, say I have a monopoly on eggs in a region because I have all the chickens. So I'm the only one who can sell eggs.
Right. So you're protecting your large margin.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
So does that mean I can set whatever price I want for eggs? No, because people can choose to have bacon for breakfast instead of eggs.
Right.
Or some other crap.
Yeah.
Because eggs and bacon are obviously the best breakfast. But so the reason monopolies cannot happen in a truly free market is that homogeneity is in the eye of the beholder. It's subjective and dynamic, just as every other valuation the human brain does.
Okay.
So what constitutes a homogeneous good to me is not necessarily the same thing as what constitutes a homogeneous good for you.
Right.
So if I like fruit, for instance, then you might like apples and I might like oranges. And so to me, fruit may be the homogeneous good, and to you, it's oranges. Like,
yeah.
So there's no way of telling that. And in a truly free market with damn near perfect sound money, that would be the case. Like, it would be much harder to do interventionism and to set up barriers to entry. Like, you need this much to start a company. You need all this overhead to do accounting and all of the other stuff that the regulators force you to do instead of just do free trade.
Right.
And that's a cost. So that creates monopolies. Like, any barrier to entry to any market is making monopolies more likely and more possible. And you can see this with the lockdowns was a perfect example. Like, you need to shut down your business for a year. Guess what? The little guy goes out of business, and your McDonald's and your Walmarts survive.
Uncle Bezos got to keep delivering products to your doorstep.
Exactly.
But mom and pop with their little hardware store.
And it's the same with
down.
Regulations are everywhere. I mean, from the shipping industry, I know when there were, they forced everyone to put X amount, like 2 life jackets per person on board every single ship. And of course, the big cruise liners and stuff, they can afford that change. So obviously, like the people from those companies lobby for that regulation because it drives out the competition. Yeah. So regulation always favors the big guy, and that's why monopolies form. So the more we can act to reclaim our sovereignty and not give a fuck about these self-proclaimed leaders say that we should do, yes, and just take matters into our own hands, the better the world will be. That's how I see it.
Yeah, and then when you put a inflationary monetary system on top of the fundamentally deflationary world in which we live in, then you're creating all these bad incentives. I'm thinking about like the insulin producers. I could be wrong about the specific facts here, but the point still stands. I think it's 2 companies can produce insulin because of the patent law. So they can protect their margin. Yeah. And if it was a free market and you have this huge margin, then a bunch of people are going to come into that sector of the marketplace. Yeah. They're going to increase the supply relative to the demand, and the value of that good is going to come down rapidly. Yeah. And so it incentivizes people and businesses to exert energy to protect their margins as opposed to go and solve other problems. Yeah. Which is extremely dilutive it's stifling our ability to innovate and create abundance.
Which is why intellectual property laws are bullshit.
I totally agree with that.
If no one loses if more than one person has information. Like, I can have the same information as you. And like, That's also a very interesting aspect about Bitcoin, because you could say, what about Bitcoin then? Should everyone have all the private keys? Yeah, the truth of the matter is, at the end of the day, you don't own your Bitcoin. You just know a secret, and you think it's very plausible that no one else knows that secret.
Yes.
So you can act as if you owned your Bitcoin, but you don't actually own them. It's just 12 magic words.
Yeah. Gosh,
they're
that's
in
wild.
your head. Like the ability to move them is in your head. And if you do, you assume a couple of things. You assume that there for any foreseeable future, there won't be a super majority consensus in the network to change the basics of it. You assume that, but you cannot be 100% sure.
Right.
So Bitcoin may still go to shit. You just think it's very improbable.
Right.
And you also assume that I have this key and I assume no one else has it.
Yes.
Or I know this key and I assume no one else does.
Yes.
So the Bitcoins are 100% your responsibility. They're in your head. And the only thing you have to do is keep a secret from people.
Yes.
Either a password, 12 words, the actual private key, the location of a piece of paper with it, one of those steel plates, doesn't matter. It's all about keeping a secret.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, click here to find more just like it, and here to find our most recent episode. Also, make sure to like this video to help shine light on the corruption of money, and be sure to subscribe to this channel to stay connected.